Hello guys, this is Jordan here from Uprint SA in Durban. I'm doing a video on the different plastics that you need to look for, different chemicals and papers you use on the different plastics. Alright, so to begin with, we always are going to use our activator to transfer onto any plastic. This is the transferring chemical. This is pretty much the heart of the chemical operation. This, if you don't have the right amount, it's not going to transfer nicely. If you put too much, it's not going to transfer nicely. So you need to find that middle amount that's going to transfer your graphic nicely onto the product. So I'm going to begin with polyprop chemical. Now, generally your polyprop chemical is used with your yellow paper, because your yellow paper you are transferring directly onto the product by hand. Obviously using your activator first, transferring it onto the product using your yellow paper, and your fusing chemical would be polyprop. Now you can also use a heat gun to fuse after you've sprayed your polyprop. That activates the chemical nicely. It will make it more scratch resistant. Now guys, with polyprop, what you want to look for is your flexible plastics. You can see everything's flexible. Your flexible plastics is what you look for on a polyprop if you want to use your polyprop spray. Your hard hats. Some hard hats are actually nylon based, but this one is a polyprop helmet. It's a nice strong plastic. It also lasts a lot longer in the construction environment. Now you obviously put your activator down, use your yellow paper, transfer in the graphic, spray your polyprop on afterwards, and then heat gun it, and then this will make it completely scratch resistant. It will last there for a very long time. Right, moving on. Your pens, this is now a hard plastic. It's not flexible, and hard plastics you would be using your NC dip spray onto. Now guys, this is very important. Some sunglasses are made with a very hard plastic. They're not very flexible, but this one you can flex, so you'd use your polyprop on that. So it'll be a little bit more difficult to distinguish between the two, but you do get some sunglasses where you'd use your NC dip spray on. There's some sports bottles you'd use your NC dip spray on. But generally your pens are used with your NC dip spray. You then you obviously transfer it using your activator. Start with the activator, roll it over the digital graphic, and then you spray your NC dip on afterwards. This one does not require heat, so you do not have to worry about heat fusing it afterwards. Simply just place your pen in a pen holder. Alright, moving on. So this is now marine A paper by itself. A lot of you guys recognize this paper. We use marine AB paper to go onto your t-shirts and onto your umbrellas, caps, diaries, anything that you need an extra glue with. Now your marine A paper by itself with NC dip spray as the coating will then give you a graphic that you can print onto your golf balls and onto your gridded plastic. I don't know if you can just see. Let me just try to find it. There we are. Trying to find a good lighting. I don't know if you can see, this is a gridded plastic. It's got like little dimples and a very tiny dimples. Now when you use your yellow paper on this, those little dimples tend to come through the graphic. So that's why we use this NC dip method, which creates also like a sort of an extra glue and makes the graphic a lot thicker. It allows you to print onto a dimpled surface, as you can see there on the golf ball. Alright. Now, once you've done transferring it onto the products might differ on the fusing chemical. Now, for a golf ball, you can just use heat afterwards, but because it's a very high-end product and because it goes under extreme pressure when hit by that golf stick, we tend to use the 3-part chemical mix on the golf balls to make it more durable and scratch resistant. So you can, after you've done the process, spray this with 3-part chemical mix and then heat gun it after that, and it'll make it very durable. Now with these type of products, because it's also a form of polyprop plastic, you would then use your polyprop to fuse it with. But guys, very important as well, after you've taken the marine paper off of there and the graphic's been transferred, I'd like you to try to take a silicon pad, and you can heat it up to about, I'd say 60 degrees. You can even do that with no heat, and I just want you to roll over the graphic. Heat works nicely with this because it actually removes the film around the graphic. But why we use that silicon powder is because you're pushing the graphic into the shape of the gridded surface, which will make it more scratch resistant. That means there's no air bubbles underneath the graphic, and then when you spray it with your polyprop spray, it'll turn out to be a much better scratch resistant graphic. Alright, so you're gonna have to play around with that. Now lastly, this is your nylon based plastics. Now a lot of companies battle to print on these. You generally use a pad printing machine to do this with your wet inks, and then just to use heat to fuse it. Now with our technology, because of Activator being a little bit more aggressive, you can see here around that graphic that the plastic's getting eaten. That is because Activator is very aggressive on nylon based plastics. This is a very hard plastic. It's your cheaper plastics made. Now to combat that, what we've done is one of our clients in Joburg, thank you to him, has actually found a technique using our system and then shared the good news with us. You add some reducer with your Activator. I would say 2 is to 1, so you'd put double amount of reducer to Activator in your mix. You can even go more than that on your reducer and apply it onto your plastic, and then obviously transfer the graphic, and then you would get a graphic like Uprint Digital Director. Okay, so the plastic has not been eaten. Now to fuse that, you just use heat, but obviously just be careful not to melt the plastic or let it warp. So guys, this does take a bit of technique to get onto the nylon based plastics, but it is possible. Now you do get nylon based hard hats, so you just use heat on them. You can also try your NC dip spray on there. So guys, I hope this video helps out to understanding how our chemicals work and how you can now play around with them. Thank you very much.